Okay, how about that? Okay, there we are. There's my voice. Hello. Sorry about that. Like I said in chat, Kaylee decided this was a perfect time to start a conversation. In fairness, I should have told her I was streaming earlier. All right. So we're here in Google Scholar because I just like the aesthetic. Anyhow, I was gonna go to Bing and load it up, but this showed up, and this creeped me out. It's like I get it. Carnival is a big deal, huge cultural thing. Let's turn that down a little bit. But when I load up Bing and these faces are looking at me, it doesn't feel right. Anyhow, what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, shut up. Go away. What was images? Images. There we are. No, the other thing, videos. Here's what we're gonna look at today. We're gonna look at moon. This. I guess I looked it up already. And there was one video in particular. This is teticism.com. That's this one. We gotta. Can we? I don't. Let's go to YouTube. It's all right.
Hello, Flat Earth researchers.
All right. Phuket word. Our favorite flat earther. Let's see how. Well, let's take a look at Flat Earth's cold moonlight.
Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters, and debunkers. It is a wonderfully bright, moonlit night tonight here in Phuket. So bright is the moonlight that it is reflected off the tiles of the roof of the house just next door here, and creating shadows. Of course, we are told by conventional science that the moon is reflecting sunlight.
I think Phuket word does this a lot, where he's like, "Oh, look at this thing. This. It's so beautiful here in Phuket. You know, we're told." He always does that. We're told. Our scientists say that this is caused by science. Left ears enjoying this.
But we just look and we can see and we can even test.
It is more on the left ear. Am I in both ears? Because I think my stream audio settings have changed. No, they haven't. Okay, so is it just Phuket here, or is it me? Can you hear me in both ears? Wait, no, I can see it down there. Yeah, you can. Fuck you. Never mind.
The chilling properties of moonlight, and we understand that it is its own.
Yeah, it is strange. I didn't notice it at first because I'm just used to these terrible quality videos. But it is weird. He might be Mr. Word himself might be like behind the camera to the left. I don't know.
Unique kind we can see and we can even test.
Hello everybody, by the way.
The chilling properties of moonlight, and we understand that it is its own unique kind of light emitted for different reasons.
Spit it out.
The moonlight.
Spit it out, Nick.
If the moon was reflecting.
You know what? I think I'm gonna take some of his videos and then cut out all of the parts where he's actually saying something, just leave in all of the pauses. I don't know. I now that I think about it, I'm probably the only person that would find that funny. But but I want to do it now.
Sunlight, then this roof would be showing its true colors, but no, we see a silvery grey kind of sheen of color.
Do you know why? Because you're in really low light, and it's not even as far as the camera picks up, but even your own eye. In low light, your eye has rods and cones. These are different cells, or if they're not cells, different structures that pick up light. Some of them pick up in black and white essentially, and some of them pick it up in color. You have, I believe it was the rods. You have separate rods for red, for green, and for blue, and those mix together to fill the color image. The thing is, they're not as sensitive as the ones that essentially only pick up in black and white. So in low light, the cones are far more stimulated than the rods. It's just how your body works. Not the moon having being a totally different source of light. It's about the amount of reflected light into your eyes. Yeah, essentially. Is he a Poe or is he for real? He is for real, because this guy, he's been doing this 4 years and he's serious. And like, none of his videos get any smarter, but he's serious. This is him. This is his face. This is his face as well. Not that. Yeah, he's serious. If you want to lose your mind, I recommend checking him out. Checking out his videos. Don't get your mind out of the gutter.
So it is not reflecting sunlight, otherwise we would see the roof's true color. We can also compare the moon with a
Thank you for the £2. Get a better haircut. Thank you. I will. There you are. I will get a better haircut. I'm gonna cut off about an inch, maybe an inch and a half. And we get to do it all again. Thank you.
neon or a fluorescent tube street light over there.
Yeah.
White light. And a white light.
Your haircut
Also
is fine.
have
Thank
over
you.
here
I was planning on getting it cut, actually,
kind of
like trimmed.
a stadium-like light. White. I'm not sure if it's halogen or LEDs. But it's white light.
Uh-huh.
And there is a different coloured orangey light from different kinds of bulbs.
Uh-huh.
Compare that white light with this white light.
Uh-huh. The moon is a square. Oh, wait, no, it's just my perspective.
There
Never
is
mind.
simply no way from common sense observations and comparisons that the moon is reflecting sunlight.
There's no way. Just use common sense, people.
In my
Common
mind,
sense.
and from my own experience and experiments, the moonlight is a cold, chilling light.
I don't think you have done any experiments, because that would probably show up before a video of you talking about it. Yeah, I thought he was going to say something more interesting, but I guess we'll find. I need some more interesting quotes. Wait, I actually want to go back here. What did he say here? He might have said something relevant.
And even test the chilling properties of moonlight, and we understand that it is its own unique kind of light emitted for different reasons than
No,
the
the opposite of what I wanted. All right, thank you, Nick. He essentially said nothing that isn't better explained somewhere else. But should I check out his videos and take a shot every time he says something stupid, or would I die? I don't think you would die. I think your stomach would get real upset and you would vomit before you reach peak toxicity. But you will vomit and pass out. That much that much I can guarantee. All right, concentrated moonlight. Water is much faster. Cools water much faster than non-illuminated water. Flat Earth. Okay, I can't read. Things at teticism.com. I think we looked at this before, didn't we? Yeah. Let's skip ahead a
There's
bit.
a lot of discussion out there right now about moonlight. You got different flat earthers fighting with each other. Some saying, well, it's the same spectrum as the sun, so therefore it's the same thing as sunlight, and the shading on the moon sure does look like it's illuminated by not necessarily the sun, but something is shining on the moon rather than the moon illuminating its own light. I'm not going to make any comment on
So he admits
any of
it?
that right now. I'm just
He's
mentioning a lot of this debate is going on.
He's not
The only
gonna
way to
comment
settle
on
this
it.
Stuff is with experimentation. So anyway, here's what I got for the result. Okay, here's our experiment setup spot.
could you
See the moon? See
could you have not
the bottom
done
number
this in Letterbox?
is the inside temperature, inside the glass of water. These should be the same. I let the faucet run for a long time, so it'd be hopefully the same.
Concentrated
same temperature.
moonlight.
And the moon
Volume is too
is
low
shining
for
through
us.
that window. Now I'm gonna put a magnifying glass on one of these.
Not much I can do about
Okay,
that.
so that one's 87.1. Let's put the other.
I mean, it's pretty low for me as well. Let me.
See what happens. 88.0.
Say something.
Back on this one. Oh, that one went to 88.5. Hang on that. Bottom number there. That's the dryer.
All right, testing. Testing. Okay.
Put in that one and see what happens. 88.9.
So, what is he doing? How does he concentrate the moonlight?
Turn the light out. Okay, here's my magnifier. I was gone for about a minute, and that one's still at 88.5. So I think they're the same now. Let's see what that one does. It's like here.
Okay.
Give a little surrounding stuff. Now this one is 84.0, the one that's been in the moonlight for 10 minutes. And let's see right away what this one is before the light can heat it up at all. This one's at 85.6 now. Wow. I wanted to verify this for myself.
Well,
Pretty interesting.
I'm still not sure what he did. How's one of those?
This is 84.0, the moon one. So we don't need to put a thermometer back in. Let's see if this one goes up anymore. It looks like it's going to settle at 85.6.
Okay, water and moonlight. 1.6 degrees Fahrenheit faster than the water in the shade. Not in moonlight. Okay. Right.
Well, over and out. That's maybe others can repeat this.
Maybe others could have a little bit more control, at least as far as air circulation. That's a big one, air circulation. But I'd like to see 2 cups of water or whatever, 2 containers of water, both enclosed in things, but one of them with a transparent top. That'd be the right way to do it. Sort of, so that the surroundings and all that will be controlled. But there's, what was? think there's this one video I'm looking for. If you hear a little kid screaming like he's playing video games, that's because there's a little kid in the room next to me, playing video games and screaming at them. Do not be blinded by science, by Russian vids. Is this what they do in Russia? Jesus. Let's go. No, not that low.
I believe that the sun is giving the moon light. Let's take a look here. Go away. There you go.
Okay, all right. Okay, here's proof the moon gives its own light. You in an apartment? No, I just live with family. Can we duplicate this with coffee? I don't see why not. Go for it, dude. I'm a bit too lazy. What the glasses are setting on, both different. One absorbs, the other conducts. Yeah, I would think they're both conductive because one was like a magazine and the other was a coffee table, but that definitely is another thing that should have been controlled. You're basically doing the research for them. What's going to be the next excuse? You only open scientific pages and make it look as if the earth is round. Their excuses are really creative at times. Yeah, I know I'm never gonna get a definitive argument. I'm never gonna completely smash the flat earth theory. Because they are only gonna keep up just making up excuses, making up ad hoc hypotheses. I want to find the good one. Is this okay? Yes, sure. God made the two lights. Mm-hmm.
Shade.
I think this is the one that I'm looking for, unless they plagiarized someone else, which is entirely possible. Moon having its own light, flat out debunked. Oh, I should probably check that out later. And yeah. What is? Okay. All right. I think this is the one I'm looking for. Let's go.
So you can do this in a number of ways. This guy right here is using a couple of boxes to get this done. And he's putting the temperature gauge in the moon shade, and then he's also putting one in the moon light.
So this is not
the original. Then you want to go ahead and walk away for a while so
he's
that
talking
they can
about
change
the original
temperature accordingly. Now, the interesting thing that happens here, which many people will be shocked to find out the result, the moon shade will be warmer than the direct moon light. It's the exact opposite of the sun's light. You know how when you're in direct sunlight, it's warmer than when you're in the shade. The moon's light is the exact opposite. When you're in direct moonlight, it's cooler than when you are in the moon shade. So if you are to try this experiment yourself, you can usually see a couple degrees difference between the moon shade and the moon light.
A couple of degrees.
This leads many of us to believe that the moon is emitting its own cool light.
Right, because that makes sense. Anyhow, this is what I was looking at. This is what I was looking for. You can't force someone to accept reality. They deny the sun rises and sets, which they observe firsthand. You can't help someone like that. Right, yeah, it's funny because they're all about using common sense and using your own eyes, making your own observations, except, you know, it's all, you can't see it from your perspective. Whatever. Anyhow, where was it? Like 2 minutes in. I want to get that quote.
Moonlight, it's cooler than when you are in the moon shade. When you're warmer, opposite of the sunlight, the direct moonlight. It's the exact opposite of the sun's light. You know how when you're in direct sunlight, the warmer, which many people moonlight. It's the exact opposite of the sun's light.
All right, let's write this down. Everybody write this down. All right. Yes, we're still doing this. Which I put this in Garamount, by the way. I don't actually like Garamount. I know last stream I was talking about how I didn't think it was a big deal. Well, now I've decided that I don't like this font. So, I don't know. Add 10 pieces to a Lego build every time a flatard says something stupid. You must be making one of those, like, Millennium Falcon, like, huge sets. Because, that's quite the challenge. What do you say? It's the exact opposite of...
You know, light. It's the exact opposite of the sun's light.
The sun's light.
You know how when you're in direct sunlight, it's warmer than when you're in the shade.
How? I need to get faster at typing. But you know how when you're in direct sunlight, it's warmer than when you're in the shade.
Moonlight. It's the exact opposite of the sun's light. You know how when you're in direct sunlight, it's warmer than when you're in the shade. The moon's light is the exact opposite when you're...
The moon's light is the exact opposite.
You're in direct moonlight. The moon's light is the exact opposite. When you're in direct moonlight, it's cooler than when you are in the moon's shade.
Wait, come on, dude. When you're in direct moonlight, it's cooler than when you're in direct moon shade. I think that's how I put it.
In direct moonlight shade. The moon's light is the exact opposite. When you're in direct moonlight, it's cooler than when you are in the moon's shade.
When you are in the... Come on. The moon's shade.
So if you are to try this experiment yourself, you can usually see a couple degrees difference between the moon shade and the moonlight.
You know how YouTube auto-generates transcripts, which you can copy and paste? Yeah, what about it? I just wanted to say well done for spending your time educating people. I hope this book can get them up to speed with science, or at least a little. Yeah, I hope it could be helpful, if nothing other than helping people argue with other people. I want to start a course, Scientific Methodology for Flat Earthers. First off, use your eyes. Second off, use common sense. Third, never trust the government. Is that what you mean? Because I think they have places for that already. YouTube told me you uploaded a video, not that you entered a live stream. That's weird. But this is kind of what I'm doing now. I think I'm just going to... I mean, I'm not going to completely stop making videos, but I think you're going to see a lot more of me streaming. I don't know what I did. But yeah, this is kind of... I'm not going to lie. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with my channel at the moment, because it's gotten to a point where it's mostly money. The amount of money that I'm making back from YouTube is now not worth the amount of time and effort that I would put into normal videos. So sorry if this channel takes a turn that some of you may not like, but live streams are much more manageable, especially considering my personal time. Dude, check its orientation and watch for sunrise or sunset if Earth would be flat on the pole. Northeast. Mm-hmm. YouTube told me that you deleted your channel with lighter fluid and fire now that you uploaded a video or started a live stream. If someone deleted their channel with lighter fluid and fire, I'd be thoroughly impressed. So, how do we respond to this? We got to respond to this. I've been streaming for 39 minutes and I haven't come up with a proper Actually, I have. You need the control. Ideally, I mean, maybe separate boxes just to make sure they are indeed, not sharing the same circulating air. But the biggest consideration is, I believe it was Professor Stick who I heard this from first, but the convection, because at night, generally speaking, the ground is warmer than the air, so heat from the ground can be coming up into the box. If you have that lid on it, it's not going to be able to transfer to the air as effectively. So when you have one of these sensors underneath the box and one of them more or less open to the air and wind and what have you, you may see a difference there. I don't know. I don't know if these things are expensive. They're probably not expensive. So maybe I'll construct this experiment myself sometime. Don't hold your breath. But the proper way to do it, like I said, would be to have two sealed boxes, just one of them with a transparent lid under a full moon. Have them next to each other so that the all the surroundings are similar, if not identical. Are we talking about cold moonlight? Yes, we are. Planar walk? Yes, we are. No, the moon producing its own light. Finally caught one of these. Well, welcome. I think I ought to start a streaming schedule. I think I already did. But I wrote it down somewhere else and totally forgot about it by now. But you're going to start seeing these things regularly. So you need transparent lit or a shade, the only size of the apartment. That is only the size of the apartment moon size. Okay. Shadows in the craters disprove own light. You're right. I agree with you. But there was a video earlier that we took a look at. Excuse me. And the flat earthers started off by saying, oh yeah, you can see like the shadows and stuff in the moon. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm just going to say, the debate is there. And then still went on to talk about the moon giving off its own light. So these things, they don't connect when they're supposed to in the mind of a flat earther. So that's interesting. So let's start off with an explanation of what radiation is, shall we? How do we do this? I'll say light, to put simply, a form of radiation. And radiation is a transfer of energy. How do I I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. It's difficult. Guys, everybody stop watching me. I can't work under pressure. Stop looking at me. Radiant cooling. Is that a thing? Should I be looking up radiant cooling? Or are you saying that's what they think it is? Let's go back to the crappy background music. There you are. Let's see. Light is a disruption of a medium IMO. Let's see. What's the best way to put this? Is the target flat earthers, globe heads, or people who don't know about the situation? The target is flat earthers, but we're writing a book that will more appeal to the globe heads who are arguing with flat earthers. Let's see. See how Wikipedia puts it, and we'll plagiarize. How about that? You do very good work. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, radiant cooling is legit and very relevant. Okay. All right, let's ask Google. What is radiant cooling, and how does radiant cooling work? From equipment. From equipment like laptops to chill forward, radiant heat transfer from humans. Chilled water outlet. Okay, maybe we should read instead of looking at the pictures. Temperature controlled surface that cools indoor temperatures by removing sensible heat, and from more than half the heat transfer occurs through thermal radiation. Heat will flow from objects, occupants, equipment, and lights. Cool surface as long as their temperatures are warmer than that of the cooled surface, and they are within the line of sight of the cooled surface. The process of radiant exchange has a negligible effect on air temperature, but through the process of convection, air temperature will be lowered when air comes in contact with the cooled surface. So, I'm not sure if it's told me the mechanism quite yet, but it just sounds like the floor is cooled. Yeah, chilled water inlet and outlet. Interesting. Radiant cooling cools the floor or ceiling by absorbing the heat radiated from the rest of the room. Right. So what I'm gathering is that radiant cooling is not giving off cool radiation, but it is cooling what is it cooling? Okay, it cools the floor ceiling, because everything else is emitting radiation. When you give off, your body gives off its body heat through radiation, partially, I suppose. Absorbing the heat when the floor is cooled is often referred to as radiant floor cooling, usually done on home radiant panels. I'm kind of confused as to how this is supposed to work. Let me bring the chat back up. Light is a wave, no particle, no wave, no particle. The floor is cool. And media interacting with the floor are having their heat conducted through floor, it seems. I mean, I guess, but it was saying that the floor absorbs the radiation from other things, but yet gets cooler? I don't understand. Let's go to energy.gov. They have the answers because they're the government. Cools the floor or ceiling by absorbing the heat radiated from the rest of the room. Right. When the floor is cooled, it often refers as radiant floor cooling. Cooling the ceiling is usually done in homes with radiant panels. Although potentially substitute for arid climates, radiant cooling is problematic for homes in more humid climates. So, poor Louisiana, no radiant cooling for me. What the hell are radiant panels? Radiant cooling homes. Aluminum panels suspended from the ceiling through which chilled water is circulated. To be effective, the panels must be maintained in a temperature very near the dew point within the house. Interesting. Panels cover most of the ceiling. Late in the stream, so no context. All right, we're looking at the claim that the moon gives off its own light, and that the light that the moon gives off is cool light. Instead of warming things up, it cools things, which is not physically possible. But someone in chat brought up radiant cooling, and now I'm trying to figure out what that is and how it works. Chat, because I've never heard it before. We want to look for sign pages, not one about radiant cooling for houses. I just wanted to understand exactly what radiant cooling is before I just say no. Homes, but yeah, this is just absorbing radiation from other things to cool a floor or ceiling. But I'm still confused as to how that works, because absorbing radiation doesn't cool. Using infrared heat to radiate warmth directly from the panel to the solid objects in the room. Not only are these wall-mounted radiant panels functional, but they are more elegant, safe way to add supplemental heat to an area of traditional space heaters. Aha, that still doesn't explain. To be effective, the panels must be maintained at a temperature very near the dew point within the house, and the house must be kept dehumidified in humid climates. Radiative cooling is a better search term. I believe it. Radiative cooling. Hey, then we can get Wikipedia. Wikipedia's got my back. Thank you. Radiative cooling is a process by which a body loses heat by thermal radiation. Okay, so that's a different thing. Because this radiant cooling was like a way to cool the floor and ceiling. This is just things giving off heat and cooling, which was my point before. High performance. Alright, I've stopped caring. Let's go back to good old radiation. Often categorized as ionizing. I totally forgot what I was looking for. Radiant cooling is heat loss due to contact with the surface in the ground container, etc. Yeah, still confused as to how it works. But like I said, I've stopped caring. It's not really cooling by radiation, I don't think. It's more energy transfers from one object to another, making it appear as if it's cooled down when all that's happened is the energy is gone somewhere. Yeah. All right, so how do I put this? That light can't cool things. A form of radiation. A transfer of an energy. How do I I want to put this in a concise, understandable way. Reminds me of water cooling, just maybe less thermal conductivity. Can we all agree the light emits lame light? No, I think the moon it doesn't emit lame light. It reflects lame light. It is the world's crappiest mirror. Hi from Louisiana. Hello. I'm in Louisiana too. It's the first time I heard a hello from Louisiana. I hear way more hi from Germany's than the US. Light will heat things, not cool things. That's exactly my point. But how do I put that in a way that sounds smart? It's out of this world. Well, I guess you got a point. I'll be honest, I watched a few videos from you, never a stream. Well, have you been... The thing is, I delete streams not long after they're gone, although I think that's going to change. I'm in Canada. Well, hello in Canada. So, I can't say I blame you. But I think we're going to start keeping streams up so you can catch all the streams you want. Try to get a big Fresnel lens or mirror to collect moonlight to warm something up. Yeah. How do I put this? Because so the source of radiation, which is the same thing as the source of light, it's always going to be emitting energy. I'm not good with words. Hello from Bulgaria. Interesting. Never had a hello from Bulgaria before. Well, hello, Bulgaria. Two people from Bulgaria. Neat. When absorbing light, you're absorbing radiation. I think that's how I'll put it. When a source of light emits energy and any object that absorbs light absorbs energy. Instead of saying transfer of energy, I'll put an emission of energy, because I think that's what I was mostly hung up on, because I didn't want people to think that the idiots to think that it could be transferred the other way. emits energy in any object. I'm gonna put a semicolon there. Therefore, it is impossible for light to cool any object or surface. It's radiational cooling, a weather phenomenon. What are your thoughts on the Walter Russell theory of light? I am not familiar with it, so let's quick. I need to be opinionated. Let's look this up. Walter Russell theory of light. I'm just typing in what you sent. The secret of light. He believed that weight should be measured dually as temperature is, with an above and below zero, and that the sunlight we feel in our bottles is not actual light from the sun. Well, I think this sums up my opinion right here. Russell's Wikipedia entry notes gingerly that his ideology has not been accepted by mainstream scientists. I have yet to see why it should be, but that's... Why? Why? Claimed to have experienced a transformational revelatory event they later described in a chapter called The Story of My Illumining. Yeah, this guy sounds nuts already. I could perceive all motion. And was newly aware of all things. He was on something. He was on something. Either something really good or really bad. I'm not sure. What? That is interesting. Sounds like a kook, though. Cooling lasers do exist. Nothing to do with cold moonlight, but flares will bring it up and say, no, here's cooling light. Yeah, of course. LSD, acid. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't have enough experience with psychedelics to know what that describes. I just realized that this is different from this. So let's cut and paste this in the correct section, shall we? Therefore, it's impossible for light to cool any object or surface. Then there we go. That's what I wanted. I wish you could actually type in this I forgot the name of it, but the long dash. Being technical, radiation isn't strictly an emission of energy. It could be particles too. The LSD, you may see Smurfs in your room. That sounds terrifying to me. I'm terrified to try anything like that, because I don't think I can handle it. Why are there? I'm itchy. I got bug bites, but I haven't been outside enough to be bitten by any mosquitoes or whatever. Maybe I have fleas. I think this puts it pretty simply. We gotta cite our sources. The potter's clay. (2017). We have to respond more in depth. Do we? I need a quote for the experiment. Bug bites are acid. True fact: Jehovah's Witnesses are scared of Smurfs. Is it because of sorcery and all that? Because funny story, my I might be remembering this wrong, but I think my aunt never let my my cousins watch Wizards of Waverly Place. You know, the old Disney Channel show, because it was sorcery. And I don't know. I don't know how it felt back then, but looking back on it now, it's like I couldn't watch a Disney Channel show. Reminds me of all the guys who were not allowed to watch like Pokemon for the evolution or whatever, but I guess that was a bigger deal before my time. Remember that show? Yeah, I hated the Disney Channel shows that were on when growing up, because they were all just rude. That was all their jokes, just kids being rude to everyone else. And I think I hated it more because my younger brother started to pick up on it, and he was a bit of a dick, and it's everything he said sounded like something you'd see on Disney Channel that wasn't funny, but the stupid laugh track was laughing at it anyway. No idea if Disney Channel has changed since then, but it gets on my nerves. I don't want to be that parent that's all like, oh, my kids can only watch things with positive moral values. We need good role models on the television. But I don't want my kids watching that. I wouldn't want. I don't know. Am I weird? I feel like I'm weird. Yeah, too much about magic. They have JW Urban Myths about Smurf toys coming alive. Nice. It sounds like, what do you think, it's Toy Story? Or like those Japanese folk tales? Do you have Disney Plus? I know a guy who will let me use his Disney Channel Plus subscription. THC vape? Nope, just regular old nicotine. I mean, if it was legal, then yes, it would be. But no, this is just nicotine. Better than cigarettes, but not better than nothing. Yeah. My grandfather yelled at my cousin for wanting to go trick-or-treating because happen was evil. Yeah, my dad, I don't know. I don't remember him having a strong opinion on it, but he didn't seem to like Halloween. At least I remember him telling me that the origins of Halloween was satanic, and this and that. But I think he understood that it's just kids dressing up, getting candy. So Harry Potter's a warlock. So long since I've watched that Jesus camp thingy.
Difference between the moon.
It really wasn't it. More pagan. Yeah, Halloween has something to do with it, because it's right before All Saints Day. That's where it got its name. All Hallows Eve, Halloween. That's all. That's as much as I actually remember. But let's oh, I'm on mobile, right? Got it. Because Halloween was evil. Okay, I understand. Yeah, I know. My mobile keyboard sucks as well. I hate cigarettes. Well, then be glad I'm inhaling an aerosol and not soot.
Shade and the moonlight. This leads many of us to believe in the moon shade. Degrees difference between the moon shade and the moonlight. This leads many of us to believe that the moon is emitting its own cool light.
And
These guys.
the moonlight currently in the shade,
I love these guys.
I'm gonna get a recording of somewhere around 40 degrees.
Yeah, this is the video that Professor
between
Stick
the moon
covered,
shade and the moonlight.
and
So
he
that
pretty
they
much did as good as I would have done, if not better. So I never actually made a video on this, except now I kind of am. If you want to see real temperature reduction with light, check out laser cooling. That's... I will. I'll check that out in a second. But first, I want to get a quote about this experiment.
any thermometers, cold light, if you will. Here's an experiment that anyone can perform at home, and many flat earthers around the world have done this.
Okay, so let's add another quotation, and we'll make it a quotation. Here's an experiment that anyone with an N can perform at home. I knew how to spell perform, don't worry about it. And many flat earthers. I type in the comments, how do you spell flat earthers? Is it flat earthers? Is it an apostrophe S? Is it flat dash earthers? And is that with an apostrophe? Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Others around the world have done this. No, not what I wanted. Flatards, dumbasses, retards, flat earthers, flat. Okay, so with the dash, no apostrophe. All right. Preferred spelling is M-O-R-O-N. Got it. It's not a real term. It's made up. I mean, yeah, but yeah. See, language doesn't follow a strict set of rules. It follows common usage. And I'm just following common usage right now. I don't know why I started using an apostrophe. Lunatics, flurfers, mentals. All right, got it. Thank you.
Moon's light is different than the sun's light. Whereas the sun's light is warm and golden, the moon's light appears to be cool, cold light, if you will.
Makes sense to me.
Here's an experiment that anyone can perform at home, and many flat earthers around the world have done this. All you need to do is take 2 digital thermometers, or any thermometers if you will, and
2 digital thermometers, or any thermometers, if you will. Why, okay, stupid. I hate LibreOffice sometimes. It's annoying.
and get them to the exact same thermometers, or any thermometers if you will, and get them to the exact same temperature together. Then what you want to do is put one of them in the direct
same temperature as each other.
moonlight together, thermometers if you will, and get them to the exact same temperature together. Then what you want to do is put one of them in the direct moonlight, and then you want to put one of them in the direct.
Do is put one of them in the direct moonlight and
then you want to put one of them under moon shade.
And then you want to put one of them in moon shade.
Light, and then you want to put one of them under moon shade.
Under moon shade.
So you can do this in a number of ways. This guy right here is using a couple of boxes to get this done, and he's putting the temperature gauge in the moon shade, and then he's also putting one in the moonlight. And then you want to go ahead and walk away for a while so that they can change temperature accordingly. Now, the interesting thing that happens here, which many people will be shocked to find out the result, the moon shade will be warmer than the direct moonlight.
The moon shade will be warmer than the direct moonlight.
It's the exact opposite of the sun's light.
You should repeat the experiment when in no moon nights. Exactly. You should write a textbook definition of a control variable. I'm definitely going to bring that up. Imagine if this person spent all his energy in something productive. I don't know. It seems like all he has is a couple of thermometers and a shoe box. I'm not sure how productive this guy can be. It's like Einstein at work. Covered area will retain its heat. Exactly.
Temperature accordingly. Now, the interesting thing that happens here, which many people will be shocked to find out the result, the moon shade.
Okay, so it's moon's shade, not moon shade. Moon's shade. And then cite your sources. The Potter's Clary. The Potter's Clary. That's my new alt account. The Potter's Clary. Anyhow, after you finish writing, are you going to hire an editor before publishing? No, I think I'm just going to self-publish. I mean, I am going to go through the copyright process and whatnot, but it's not difficult at all to publish yourself, especially if you're just going with an ebook, because I can upload this as an ebook directly to Google Play Store, iBooks, Kindle, and Amazon has, I believe Amazon has their own print-on-demand service. I think I'm gonna have to read up on that. But no, this is just gonna be independent as far as publishing goes. The whole cold moonlight thing is just about the thermal mass of the object giving shade, mostly, and the greater radiative cooling of open, undershaded areas. Right. You're going to write a lot more detail, like a brief history of time, or more simple. I'm not sure, I'm not familiar with a brief history of time, but I'm gonna try to keep it simple, but I'd rather keep it concise, if that makes sense. I want to make it short and sweet, understandable, but make sure I cover all my bases. I know that doesn't really answer the question very well, but yeah. Physical books are dying out. You can make more cash like that, honestly. Physical books are dying out. Yeah. Yeah, but there are some guys in the chat, like Glass Monster, who would die for a hardcover. And I'm kind of the same way. I definitely want a physical copy of this book. So if it ever gets finished, which who knows if it will, but I would like to have my own physical copy hardcover if possible, and I'm not the only one. Many flat earthers are saying the evil Jewish science is coming to its end, including quantum mechanics. Oh boy, when God, I always, when flat earthers start bringing up the Jews, that's kind of when I check out. That's when I leave. That's when I'm like, all right, that's enough. We went too far. We went too far, and we need to turn back, head back where we came. Cause I ain't about to get into all of that. Many books on my shelves that radiate knowledge. I hardly read any of them. Yeah, I have I picked up a couple books the other day because my library was having a book sale, and I know it's gonna take me forever to start reading them. Yeah, I have a lot more books than I've actually read. But at the same time, I have a lot more stuff on my Plex server that I haven't watched. So, I don't know. How do I divide my time? Because I have way more video games I haven't played. Like Lego Indiana Jones over there. I think I ought to get to that before I read. The Myth of Solid Ground. That's one of the books that I picked up because it seemed interesting. They are very anti-Semitic. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't see what's up with that. I mean, I guess that's the conspiracy theory inside of them talking. But I just don't get it, dude. So would you defend against flat earthers saying the examples you're debunking? How would you defend against flat earthers saying the examples you're debunking are cherry picked? Well, first off, this is gonna be over 100 pages of all of the points that I could find good quotes for, and like I'm gonna be going to a variety of places, not like the Flat Earth Society wiki, but not all Flat Earthers like Flat Earth Society. So I'm also going to go to YouTubers, you know, the Potter's Clay. Maybe I'll throw in some. I already have Eric Dubé in there. I'll see if I can get to some Mark Sargent, Jeranism, these guys. I'm going to be responding to all sorts of Flat Earth sources. So these are going to be the guys that they're responding to. And I'm also going to be responding to it as thoroughly as I can. So whatever angle they can take one of these arguments, I'm going to shoot and hope to cover it, even if that means I have to produce more than one version of the book. So if they think that it's cherry picked, I don't know what to tell you, man, because I'm responding directly to the claims that flat earthers are claiming. Have you played Kingdom Hearts? I got like a fourth of the way through the first game. Because I have the PS2 version of Kingdom Hearts 1 and the remastered version of 2. No, I have like regular Kingdom Hearts 2 and then the remastered Kingdom Hearts 2 and a third, but I want to play the first one before I play the second one, and the old controls are kind of bugging me, and it's a long game, but I do love Kingdom Hearts. In fact, my keychain has a tiny little keyblade on it. but I haven't played through as much as I want to. It's a good way to go about it. Yeah, thank you. Hello. I know people always say that learning from YouTube is bad, but I think it could be excused as long as you do more research outside of that, give more proof. Could you advise that in your book? Sure, yeah. I mean, in my book, I am going to be like citing as many sources as I can, especially when it comes to like experiments and physics and this and that. Anything that I can find a source for, I will source genuine scientific sources. So hopefully you'll be able to find this book reliable and solid. But I mean, who says learning from YouTube is bad? Because I can totally see misinformation being spread on YouTube, but it can be pretty valuable, especially with the more educational channels like excuse me, I got burps today. What was it? Crash Course, ASAP Science. Those guys, there are some pretty good educational channels. That kind of reminds me of the whole Wikipedia's unreliable argument, because sure, people can edit Wikipedia, that's kind of the point, but they have to cite their sources, and the whole Wikipedia community is constantly correcting misinformation and controlling the what do they call it when people purposefully they have their shit together and they cite their sources, you know? I misworded the sentence. I meant that it could be unreliable, and I'm not saying YouTube is necessarily bad, just more open. Right. Yeah, I get it. YouTube has good info, assuming you're not too dumb to tell good info from bad. Yeah. Sabotage. Yeah, that's what they call it. They're constantly correcting people who are sabotaging their web pages. They even have a Wikipedia page for the Wikipedia like hoaxes, and so that's interesting. I don't know. And if there is something wrong with any particular Wikipedia page, I know nobody said anything about Wikipedia, but this is my pet peeve. All right, but like they'll have like banners that say, this section needs more sources. It treats all sorts of things, needs more sources, treats a certain, and then there are a lot of like religious pages that'll say like this, it treats like a religious text like unskeptically. There's a term they use, but also like they'll tell you if a certain section looks like original research, it'll tell you all the problems that you have with it. So like you can, I don't know. Okay, all right. Tangent is gone. If Wikipedia is wrong, just choose another language to double check. Not very useful for Americans, because Americans, they don't know a second language, and a lot of them will refuse to learn a second language for some reason. I don't know. Better use Wikipedia than the Kent Hovind YouTube channel. Yeah. Yeah. Anyhow. What am I doing? I was doing something. So. Text body, here we are. Second language for Americans, it's English. Second language for Americans is English. I'm sorry, I don't quite understand what you mean. I mean, I speak fluent American, and I don't know. So, I think it's experiment. I'll say this experiment and similar ones performed by flat earthers. Let's add that to the dictionary. No, that's not what I meant. Add to dictionary so you can stop correcting me. And similar ones performed by flat earthers. Several aspects in common. They don't control how do I put it? They lack control variables, but it's not just we'll say lack control. English simplified. Yeah. There's not an official language in the US. Yeah. But I'm not about to get into an argument with one of these racist guys. Bring that up to see what they say about it. They fail to control for several variables. Yeah. You accidentally put preformed instead of performed. Where? See, I was hoping it would correct me. All right. Nobody minded. Like. Fail to control for many variables. Say the biggest one. The biggest one is convection. I'll say the most I don't know. I don't know if most contentious is the right term. Do I thought I heard a mouse. I guess not. How many Flat Earth books do you have? I don't have any Flat Earth books. I don't think. Well, I mean, I did download several. I downloaded Eric Dubé's 200 Proofs. I forget if I downloaded a copy of Zetetic Cosmogony. And then there's another paper by Robert Sungenis. But those are all just freely available, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I will never read them, ever. Have a good one. All right, I'll see you. Most prominent of which is convection. I wouldn't say prominent. You know, I have to do it. I mean, I hate looking dumb, but I have to make sure contentious is the right word. Causing or likely to cause an argument controversial. Yeah, I'll just say that. The most contentious. You know what? I like colons and semicolons. I'll just put this so that I can have a proper run-on sentence. The most contentious being convection. The thermometer under the moon light is often uncovered and exposed to the cold air and more exposed to cold air than the shaded thermometer. Furthermore, they fail to perform a control experiment say by repeating these measurements on a night with little to no moonlight. I'm smarter than all flat-tards combined. I don't know. I don't know about combined, because now I'm just imagining like flat earthers just like morphing together into like a giant Transformers. You'll have like you'll have Phuket Word at the top, the head, and Mark Sargent will be like the body. Trying. Oh my God, I don't know if I could defeat them together. Well, in a battle of wits, yeah. He's a lot dumber than all of them. Firmament Prime. Firmament Prime. My Rottweiler would be smarter. No colon after variables. You're right. I think it should be a semicolon. And here's why. Okay, see, because we already have a comma here, and I have a terrible habit of overusing commas. The reason why I went to a semicolon was because the most contentious being convection is not an independent clause. But if we just use a semicolon in as if it were a comma, then I guess it is correct. But I don't want to put a comma because I don't want this to be a dependent clause. I don't know. I'll have my editor look it over. Call Phuket word by his proper name, Gigantor. Right, sorry. Semicolon, okay, thank you. You space comma. Right, I should use space comma. God, you know what? Hopefully I'll be able to find a quote. I'll have like one shitty, terrible quote just so that I can have a space comma in one of these. It'll be hilarious. Or space double comma. I know you probably hear it a lot now, but what the fuck? Another hairstyle. This is the same one. It's just a little bit longer. I actually... It's just normal me. It's just my hair doesn't really like headphones all that much. I think I'll start wearing a beanie for these streams. Is that better? I don't know. Enter Grammarly. Greetings from the UK. Hello. But yeah, whenever I change my hairstyle, like I'll have half of the people who comment on it will be like, "Oh, I love the new style." The other half is like, "You were better with this other style." So it's like, whatever. Sponsored by Grammarly. I actually have been getting emails to be sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, and I can't do it. I can't do it. I mean, I'd appreciate the money, but I'm not gonna be another one of these fucking guys. Like, this stream is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Follow my link in the description to get free bullshit. I don't know. You dyed your hair? No, I didn't. I had Kaylee do it. Yes, my hair is black now. Thank you for noticing. Funny story. I dyed my hair at my girlfriend's place, right? I didn't tell anybody I was doing it. I come back, and my little cousins, they're both under 12. They both noticed. My parents have yet to notice, or they've yet to say anything about it, at least. And it's like, I'm kind of concerned. Like, do you not remember my natural hair color, or I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Best to wear a bag. I wouldn't mind being sponsored by NordVPN. Yeah, like I don't want to be sponsored. I especially don't want to be sponsored by mobile games, because I had an email a while back for the Viking game, whatever it was. And I even emailed them back, but eventually they stopped responding to me. Don't know what that's about. Like, but no, I've decided that I'm only going to, if I'm going to have sponsors, which I don't know why I would, because my channel is pretty small, but if I am going to have sponsors, it's only going to be things that I'm comfortable with promoting. Things that I would use myself, like notable VPNs, that's really the only thing that I know I could potentially be sponsored by. I don't know. The thing is, like, I'm a small YouTuber, right? And I mean, don't get me wrong, the amount of subscribers that I have it's no small number, but there's also no shortage of YouTube channels that have my number of subs or higher. So who's going around and hiring all of these tons of individual, really, really small YouTubers for so little money? I don't get it. I don't understand. How about Dollar Shave Club? No, I would not accept a sponsorship from Dollar Shave Club, and I'll tell you why. They're not cheap. They're I mean, they're not expensive either. They're normal priced things. The thing is, they go by like, oh, $1 a day. But like, let's say you get a $10 pack of razor blades. Is that not going to last you longer than 10 days? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Watch you for ages. You fill your space well. Maybe think about backdrops a little. Right. Yeah, I have thought about it. And Van Gogh and Outer Space was actually the best I could come up with. I do have like a green screen setup, which I am never going to set up again because it was a pain. Maybe if I ever get my own office space, then I'll have a green screen, and then you'll be seeing a silhouette of me on the streams. But no, like public domain stuff just on the background, that's, I don't know, that's the best. At least that's the best for my branding and for the space that I have right now. But I appreciate it though. I think you look great sat in a captain's chair in a space looking down at Earth. Maybe I'll play with a green screen in the future. That'll be fun. I love old-time single-blade safety razor. Yeah, I used to shave with a straight razor, but with a replaceable blade. I believe they call them shavette razors. But the thing is, I got a cheap one, and it just stopped opening up on me. Then I moved to a safety razor, but again, I only bought a cheap one, and it stopped opening up on me. But then I switched to like cheap disposables, and now I have one of the proper, like, expensive replaceable blades that they actually seem to work well for me. I don't know. The cheapest cost for shaving is a straight razor. Right, yeah, but an actual straight razor, non-replaceable blades, is a little bit too much hassle for me, because then you have to like strop it, you have to sharpen it yourself. I'd rather get like the replaceable blades, which are insanely cheap as well. The single-bladed replaceable things. That's the way I would go if I were going for savings, but I don't know. I use a Rambo knife. You could do that. 1960s Gillette ones. A safety razor. That's cool. No, straight razor. Okay, that's cool. So quality, yeah. Personally hate the cutout live streams. It's hard to see. Really? I already have enough nearsightedness. Yeah, I guess I could see that. Even if you can't. Sorry. The safety and a straight razor. Okay, neat. What? So back on track, I suppose. Furthermore, they failed to perform a control experiment by repeating these measurements on a night with little to no moonlight. Suspect you'd see the same results. I'll say a more proper to perform this B to enclose both thermometers in boxes. With one box completely opaque and one box with a transparent lid. If the moon emits its own light, then what the fuck are the moon phases? That beats me, man. Some of them think that it's like a siren, you know, those old sirens that have a light that's just rotating around, sort of like a lighthouse sort of thing going on. That's what they think. Well, not what they think, but what they have proposed in the past. I've heard that one. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see the point in anything being above 1080p. It's just more pixels. I mean, I have yet to see 4K in person, and I suspect that, like on a monitor that's relatively close to your face, like a computer, like it'll make a big difference then. But like past that, you know, you're going to see diminishing returns, I believe. But then again, I've never seen the difference between 4K and 8K and all this and that. So I don't know. But 1080p works for me, at least for now. I do want to bump up to like 1440p or something. It looks the same but gets sharper. Yeah, colors look closer to real life. That's a different thing than resolution. I mean, if you have like HDR, then yeah. That's only dynamic range. Different monitors are. Some monitors are way better than others as far as color accuracy as well. Don't mess with 140-pound dog. Whoever claims Earth's dome has to replace the lights inside the moon. Whoever cleans Earth's dome also has to replace the lights inside the moon. Yeah, probably. Anyhow, I'm getting off track. Getting off track. We need to go back to the flat earthers. We need to know the truth about the shape of the world. The experiment would then be repeated in complete darkness on a on a night with minimal moonlight. Again, under artificial lighting. And another. And another under sunlight. And another under sunlight to complete the comparison. I don't know. Hey, babe. Movies look like the theater in 4K? Yeah, probably. But whenever I go to the movie, I'm always so far away from the screen that it doesn't even matter. I can't even see the resolution of the theater. 2 a.m. in UK. Bye. Alright. See ya. Have a nice night. Unless you don't want to have a nice night, in which case, don't let me tell you what to do. I'll say without being more thorough and controlling more variables, these experiments are unreliable. Without being more thorough and controlling more variables, these experiments are unreliable. I'll put this here. But there are controlling more variables. The experiments are unreliable. Have a nice moonshade light. Yeah, have a nice night. Have a nice sleep under the cool light of the moon. Cool light does pass through the glass. They should be able to use a magnifying glass to concentrate the light on a thermometer to make it colder than another next to it. Yes, you need to concentrate that moonlight. You could potential use a lens such as one on a magnifying glass to do I say concentrate? Moonlight powered refrigerators. You see McFlatty frozen ants with cold moonlight. I guess I add an extra 9 there to Concentrate. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. I don't know. I swear, I'm not that dumb. All right, it's just I'm under pressure right now. Anyhow, shouldn't your eyeball get cold when you look at the moon through a telescope? Does your eyes not get cold when you look through a telescope at the moon? I know mine does. Has nothing to do with the material of the eyepiece, though. I did see that Jeranism. Wrong window. Jeranism. Where was it? Full moon and new moon compared. I think, yeah, Jeranism. Let's see what Jeranism did.
Appear would unless it was self-illuminated. For example, on the Discover Epic images of Earth that we get from a million miles away, there's a very clear hotspot, but we see no hotspot on the moon. And also the top and the bottom should be quite shaded, but they are not. So
okay, all right. I need to add this one as well. What section? Astronomy. The moon reflects light. The sun, moon. Do. Say the moon would have a hot spot so how do I because the argument is that the moon, if it was lit up, we would expect different like lighting effects and have you know what, I'll just hotspot if it reflected the sun's light. I'll just ignore it. We'll come back to that later. But what does Jeranism have to say?
So, for me, the moon is very important, and I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end here. Now, as we zoom in to Jupiter on the right of the moon, if you look very closely, you can see what they call.
I love his choice in music. It's like I'm watching a Disney show or something.
All the moons of Jupiter. Of course, these can't be seen with the naked eye, but with our camera, you can see them quite well. Now, a little plug for the camera that we have, if you guys are interested. And before 1,000 people make videos saying I'm doing this for money, which they will anyway, I'm recommending the camera I have for anyone looking for a
Yep.
and
Sure.
the following challenging.
Yep, sure
This
thing.
Misconception is awesome, but if I don't like him, I can click unsubscribe. Anything you can possibly imagine, whatever you like. So if you like Lawrence Krauss, then type.
Can we just get to the point of the video? I don't know why Jeranism does this. Jeranism never gets to the point. He spends so much time talking about bullshit.
In Lawrence Krauss schools Christians.
A miracle. Next two particles get zero, and you can create those particles with impunity. And in fact, that happens, we think, near black holes, and in fact creates.
All right, brilliant. Now back to reality. So if you're in the market for an awesome camera like DV,
No,
just say
I'm
about
not.
the Nikon P900, great camera, but you're going to pay about $600. And sweet it are to tell you, and for $15
Okay.
you can do your own moon experiment and prove me wrong. Let's get testing. So, the moon was high up in the sky, and you can actually follow where I'm at on the map. It'll appear here shortly in the lower left, and there'll be a little star to tell you where I'm at. You can also look at the approximate temperature in the upper left. So the plates were left outside for about 15 or 20 minutes until I started testing. I took my little temperature gun and shot the one on the deck first, and you'll see here that that one came in at about 51.5 degrees Fahrenheit. That was the plate that was in the shade, not in the direct moonlight. We'll come up here to the ledge and shoot the plate that was in the moonlight, and we get about 44 or 44.5.
Right, it was up on the ledge, higher up than the one on the ground, with a lot more air circulating underneath it.
So already right there we see about, 6 degree temperature difference. I'm now shooting the side of the banister and noticing that it is significantly warmer than the top. So we're getting about 50 degrees on the side. I come back to, again, the plate on the deck. It is 51. Shooting the deck here, also seeing about 51. I shot off in a distance and got about the same thing, 50, 51. Shoot the plate again, and we're at about 50 or 51. So from that, I went back to
how did he pick this
the
music?
plate again on the ledge here. That one is in the moonlight. Again, we're getting about 44.
Okay, dude.
So I went to my truck. Again, you can
That
follow
is
along
stupid.
below that.
Exactly.
The back of my truck is not in the moonlight, as you'll see I'm behind the truck. So when I shoot the back end,
I'm kind of surprised he didn't just point the gun at the moon. See if he came up with a negative number. That's
into the truck, I got a reading of about 45. Again, this is just shooting the back of the truck. It has not been hit by the moonlight, or hasn't been in a little while. So that's 45. I'm now walking around the side of the truck, and I'm going to shoot the hood of the truck, which is in direct moonlight. And so when I shoot that, I get 39 or 40. So again, we're looking about 5 to 6 degrees difference. And we come around here to the back once again, and we shoot that. And again, we see the same thing on the back of the truck, about 45. So then I walked around the other side of the truck, seeing about the same thing, 45 along the side. So it was pretty clear to me at this point that certainly
But is a plate an accurate representation of an object that can absorb energy? Depends on the material of the plate. Because if it's like ceramic, then that, I believe ceramic like retains heat relatively well. I would be worried about how reflective it is, because that does matter with the sort of light guns. But yeah, I don't think that's the biggest deal here. Cold light doesn't make things colder. Well, Jeranism is proving you wrong here. He went outside with a temperature gun. You didn't, so.
what was out in the elements was definitely colder. Now here I stood at this post, and just to show you an example, you'll see here the post. I wanted to test A and B here, the top of the post versus the side of the post. You won't be able to see it if it's too dark, but you'll see here I'm shooting the top of the post and getting about 40 degrees, and just by lowering it a hair, I get 45. So again, same about 5-6 degree difference. So again, the top of the post, and then just slightly lowering it and getting about 5 degree difference.
So
I thought that was interesting, considering you'll see the moon is supposed to be there. There it is. The moon was there, and I saw that A was definitely getting the colder temperature reading than B.
Okay, well, first off, you haven't controlled for anything. Second off, have you considered the wind? Or even if it's just slight, just a slight draft, that has an effect. Best royalty-free music ever? God, the music, it's case closed. Cold light will freeze your soul.
Now, then I started to think that
man does not understand insulation. Of course not.
Would this be the case even if the moon wasn't out? So I had to wait all the way until we had a new moon, which was just the other night.
Okay.
So I went out on the new moon, April 7th, 2016. And the night was much nicer than it was the first night that we did it on the full moon.
Okay.
It's not nearly as cold, so I hypothesized that the top of the railing would be colder than the side, but not by as much, slightly smaller difference. Well, sure enough, that is what I saw. So I shot the railing and was getting about 55.5 degrees. or 56, and then just by lowering it a little bit to the railing side, was seeing about 58, or a little bit higher.
Still
So this was
haven't
showing me,
factored for wind, but whatever.
Basically, that it was not the
Draft.
moon that's causing the temperature difference, that it was the night, the elements, if you will, and any covering or any shade is going to make the item a little bit warmer.
Why
So I
didn't
went
you
out to my
measure
wife's
the
car.
side of the post facing the moon? That's a good point. That's a good point.
Tried that. Read the side of the car, which came in at
Shaking
about
camera
58
making me
degrees,
sick.
and
Sorry
then
about
took it to
that.
the top and was getting about 54 and a half or 55. So this kind of clearly, at least to me,
Here, I
gave
don't
me
know
my
if this will
answer
make it
and
better,
the
but
results of my testing. So, what is the test conclusion? What are the results? Well, if you ask me, it simply means that the moonlight is not cold. The night is cold, and items in direct cold air causes them to be cooler than items which are not directly in the cold. So, if you want an example,
Okay,
when you're
so
out during
he
the
does
day,
have half
well,
a
the
brain.
sun is very hot, which causes the air to be hot.
okay.
And
alright.
if you happen to be in the shade, so you're protected by the
Okay.
tree from the hotness that
Okay.
happens at night. It's very cold
you.
outside, and therefore if you're underneath a tree, it's going to protect you from the cool air, which means that underneath that would be warmer. Doesn't necessarily mean that the moon is giving us cold light. So
I
I
love
could
the
be wrong.
triumphant
I remind you,
music.
don't trust me, do your own research. This test can be done a lot better. I'm going to try it with a parabolic mirror and a magnifying glass. And also something interesting, it has appeared to be that there are less clouds in the sky on full moons. Maybe you've noticed it, maybe you haven't. And less clouds mean
Okay.
it is cooler at night. The question then becomes, does the moon affect the clouds?
All right. Sure. Yeah. No. Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah, but we can point to this video, show that Jeranism repeated the experiment. So we'll say, I'm just gonna copy. Where do I put that then in what I've written? Because Jeranism came to the opposite conclusion as some of these guys, and he's a well-known flat earther. Or they failed to perform a control. Furthermore, they failed to perform a control experiment by repeating these measurements on a night with little to no moonlight. I suspect you'd see the same. See the same results as they generally fail to perform a control. As is it? No, it's not. Jeranism. We'll say a prominent flat earther on YouTube. Jeranism has, when he repeated we'll say similar observations. There on a was it new moon, came to the conclusion that the moonlight is not cold, the night is cold, and items in direct cold air cause them to be cooler than items which are not directly in the cold. Items in direct cold air causes them to be cooler. In that. Say the night is cold and items in the direct cold air causes them to be cooler. Than items which are not directly in the cold. I'll just give them one of those, and then that. There we are. I was trying to get that full ellipses to come out. And then we're gonna have to go Jeranism 2016, and then remind myself to put the citation in later. Do the same thing with Potter's Clay. So I don't feel like doing the citations right now, so I'll just add this in and then go back. I mean, when it's really cold, moonlight heats things up a little bit. That's a run-on sentence. I'll fix it later. Who cares? Who cares? It's still going to be a hell of a lot better than Eric Dubé's books, so... Even if username is lowercase, you should put in capitals. Yeah. The moonlight is not cold. Do I put in all caps? I will. Two words. Yeah.
The night is cold and items.
This test could be a lot better. Unreliable. I'll say... Okay, so if I put a comma here, I suspect you'd see the same results as Jeranism has when he repeated similar observations on a new moon and came to the conclusion that the moonlight is not cold, blah, blah, blah. He does note, however, that this test could be a lot better. And without being more thorough and controlling more variables, these experiments are unreliable. There we are. All right, good night, progressive psyche. Light is positive energy, cold or not. I've seen things in negative light. See, I only see things in a negative light. you're right, the link should go in the reference, but I'm leaving it there for now because I'm going to go back and do the references later, because that's by far my least favorite part. Because this is only like the rough skeleton, because I'll have like all these links here are just for me to go back in and complete it later. This is not how it's going to end up being. Don't worry. However, should go first in that sentence. Where? And I mean, it doesn't matter. It's an independent clause. It's a dependent clause, excuse me. If I say, however, comma, he does note that, it's the same thing. I just prefer he does note, however. Although for the sake of the commas, it might make it better. I'll run it by my editor. This was fun. Thank you. I have been streaming for a long time. I guess I can go for a little bit more. How about we... Okay, so we looked at this claim, and I think we're just going to go and add more claims. We're not going to go terribly in-depth for the rest of the stream, but we're just going to add more claims that we will go in-depth later. Just as we go towards the end of the stream here, and I want to go to... See, I didn't even need to go to Google Scholar today. Bing Zetetic Cosmogony. Because this is an old book that flat earthers will just... I guess they don't really do it anymore because they started thinking for themselves a little bit more, but especially when the whole flat earth thing started coming back up again. They were all taking arguments from Zetetic Cosmogony, especially Eric Dubé. A lot of his stuff seems to come from here. Ugh, oh boy. I want a PDF, because I know this falls under public domain. Archive.org. Perfect. Both ways are correct. Yeah. Ooh, this is the second edition. Do we have the first edition? I don't care nearly as much. Let's go PDF. All right. Gotta wait. Wait for my internet connection. As I usually am. Imagine a ray of negative light. It could open a wormhole, maybe. No, I think it just looked black. I guess... Oh, my bitrate took a dip there. Took a dip. I guess we're good now. It's fine. We dropped like 200 frames. Oh no. What? Why is this a Google? Alright, that's fine. It's whatever. It's cool. Can we download? Yes. I don't have a Game Boy Advanced ROMs folder. I have never downloaded such a thing from the internet. Just for future reference, since it is public domain, I'm just going to keep a copy of this. The transition. Train of thought, therefore, however. It's a transition. You want to point out a new train of thought. Therefore, however, should go first. It might sound slightly better, but it's not how I want it. I'm stubborn. This is a weird way to digitize this. Blah blah blah. Okay, so what do we? Okay, so let's bring back the royalty-free music. All right. My royalty-free music is way better than Jeranism's royalty-free music. All right. Anyhow, assumptions, age of the Earth, aeronautics. Let's go to aeronautics, page 7. Dethroned in order to bolster up unprovable assumptions of modern science relative to the doctrine of evolution as applied to Earth and heavenly bodies. By the way, this book is insanely old. It's from I guess 1800 something. But yeah, it's a really old, really outdated, but flat earthers are coming back to these arguments. So I figured I'll go straight to the source. All right. Was that book written by Torquemada? I'm not familiar with who that is, but this is like, I think this gentleman went by Rectangle or some shit. It's made by the science department. Rectangle, yeah. I don't know. All right, page 7. If the world be a ball, as Sir R. Ball gravely informs us, the aeronaut should be one of his most ardent supporters, blah, blah, blah. However, it is entirely against the globular assumption. The London Journal of 18th of July, blah, blah, blah. Chief peculiarity of the view from a balloon at a considerable elevation was the altitude of the horizon, which remained, excuse me, practically on a level with the eye at an elevation of 2 miles, causing the surface to appear concave instead of convex, and to recede during rapid ascent, whilst horizon the balloon seemed to be stationary. Okay. I don't ever hinted, therefore, aeronaut may well be the rotundity of the Earth. Zetetic astronomy. Zetetic astronomy. Is that different from zetetic cosmogony? I'm confused. Zetetic astronomy. Sacred texts, of course. Here's one. Earth not a globe, Samuel Rowbotham. That's not the same thing as zetetic astronomy, is it? Anyhow. Yeah, parallax. Okay, I got him confused. So zetetic cosmogony is different from zetetic. Okay. All right, so it was real interesting. Let me change my bit rate because we're dipping down a little bit. All right, so which one's more? All right, we'll download this as well. Earth not a globe. It's zetetic astronomy. Earth not a globe. Zetetic astronomy. Earth not a globe. Hello? Computer? Thank you. Jeez. Alright, thank you. I feel like this one's gonna be way more interesting than this. Should be experiencing the same latitude. What? Okay, so if the Earth be the globe of popular belief, the same amount of heat and cold, summer and winter, should be experienced at the same latitudes, north and south of the equator? Excuse me. The same number of plants and animals would be found. The same general conditions exist. That the very opposite is the case. Disproves the globular assumption. The great contrast between places at the same latitudes, north and south of the equator, is a strong argument against the received doctrine of the rotundity of the Earth. What? A voyage towards the Antarctic Sea report, blah, blah, on January, blah, blah, blah. We saw it appear to be high mountains, land glaciers stretching. This would be unwise to be certain. It must have been 60 miles distance. Okay, have you considered that the oceans play a big part in this? I consider this to be very significant and worthy of special attention by future Antarctic explorers. It may not indicate a similar uniformity of temperature throughout the year. That's interesting. Parchment, classy. Are you gonna head off? The stream was fun. See ya. All right, I'll see ya, Johnny Srap. See you later. All right, so we can add this bit. We'll say, where do I put that? It's not astronomy. Conspiracy, experiments, perspective, philosophy, photography, physics, geometry. I'll put a geology section, and I can change it if I want, if I need to, or if I want. I can do anything I want. It's my book. Screw you guys. Geology. Then heading to we'll say climate should be the same. We'll say at the same distance away from the equator, north and south. There's got to be a better way to put that as a title. Should be the same. Let's see, at the same. Do we just say latitudes? Sure. I'll put this over here so I can see it while I'm typing. We'll put in quotations. We'll say Samuel Robotham. And then add citation for Earth, not a globe. And I'll just do that later. Just do it later. So he says, if the Earth be the globe of popular belief, the same amount of heat and cold, summer and winter, should be experienced at the same latitudes, north and south of the equator. say the great contrasts between places at the same latitudes north and south of the equator is a strong argument against the received. Why? Can you go away? Stupid blue. Is that how it's spelled? No, it's not. The received doctrine of the rotundity of the earth. What page is this? Page 8. Page 8. That's neat. Ain't that neat, guys? Opposite latitudes. It's opposite latitudes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Why did you come up over here? I thought I brought you over there. Anything else? So this is some old school. Conspiracy theory bullshit. This is Newton's theory and Kepler's laws are two foundation stones to modern astronomy. When these are shaken, the whole fabric reels and staggers like a drunken man. Until sooner or later it will find a grave in the oblivion that it so well merits. This guy really hated the idea of a globe Earth. It's from, I guess, late 1800s, 1900s. I'm not sure. Yes, just ignore the amount of land mass concentrated in the North Hemisphere, wind patterns, oceanic distribution, and all of that. Why don't we? Exactly. That's dark. Yeah, I this guy had some problems, I think. Yeah, this is zetetic cosmogony. Is this zetetic cosmogony? What did I cite? What am I reading? Okay, so that was zetetic cosmogony. I don't know. So is this rectangle? It's probably not the proper way to cite it, but I'll look into it later. We'll say zetetic cosmogony. There you go. Let's go to zetetic astronomy, though. All right. All right. Hello, I'm scrolling. Why? What? All right, there. So let's see. Experiments proving the Earth to be a plane. All right, that's got to be good. Did it give me a page number? I don't think it gave me a page number. No, just section 1. All right. Neat. Why does it do that? When scrolling, just kind of, it's like, not sure if I really want to scroll that way. Alright, so I guess it just hops into it without a header. I don't know. Term zetetic, I don't give a damn. Newtonian and all other systems of nature are little better than the hypothesis of the terrestrial motion of Copernicus. Stack overload. Yeah, I guess. The author, Robotham, married a 16-year-old and sold the secrets for prolonging human life? Yeah. Oh boy, I didn't know that. Last name and year is pretty much conventional for citations, or you can write numbers and list them below for ease. Yeah, like I'm doing it in proper APA format, but the thing is, for rectangle, I don't know his... Not rectangle. Yeah, rectangle. I don't know his real name. I only know his alias. But I'll get it straightened out when it comes to that. I just don't want to sit here and be doing citations. It's just, I mean, not that reading through all of this is much more interesting. I don't know. I'll just do it later. Okay, so this is just explaining what zetetic means to him. Process. If the Earth is a globe, circumference, surface of all standing water must have a certain degree of convexity. Every part must be an arc of a circle. 8 inches per mile multiplied by the square of the distance. That may be sufficiently understood. Following quotation. That this may be sufficiently understood. Encyclopedia Britannica. Blah, blah, blah. Read 8 inches very nearly above Earth's surface at 1 mile's distance. 4 times as much for 32 inches. This owing to globular figure of the Earth rising is the difference between true and apparent levels of the curve. So soon as the difference between true and apparent levels become perceptible, that is necessarily blah blah blah. Alright, neat. So we have the whole 8 inches per mile square thing going all the way back. Like, all the way back to, I don't know, this. I'm not sure about the date. Does this tell me the date? 1881. Flat Earthers have been saying that. Hey, Tasty. How's it going? He was like 60 and changed his name to Dr. Samuel Burley. He was a fraud. Oh boy. I'm still alive. Glad to hear. Glad to hear. I mean, you would tell me if he were dead, wouldn't you? You would let me know, right? A little self-promo Beat Saber. Alright, you know what? We're doing it now. We're doing it now. Everybody go watch Tasty play Beat Saber. Because that's what you want to do with your lives. Instead of watching me obsess about the shape of the Earth in a word processor. That actually might be more interesting than me. Forget I said anything. So I do have the argument for 8 inches per mile squared. I have Dubay here, but I think I'd rather have Robotham. Robotham, what was it, 1881? Is it this one? Yeah, this is Robotham. Where'd it go? right here. If the Earth is a globe, right? So that's page 7. Page 7. And I'll put it over here. Check Discord. I haven't opened Discord in a while. See if which one is it? This one? I think it's this one. All right. So let it be written. So let it be done. All right. So do. Here we are. Then we'll say if the Earth is a globe, so says Mr. Robotham, and 25,000 miles in circumference. See, you can see where Dubé's getting his arguments from here, can't you? The surface of all standing water stupid LibreOffice must have a certain degree of convexity every, and then we'll do that. Can we then here, there we are. I don't know how to type that in without doing that. So every part must be an arc of a circle curvating, because that's a word. Circle curvating from the summit. Maybe because Eric Dubé, he sounds a lot like Robotham. Maybe Dubé is like the reincarnation of Robotham, because he'll make up words like this, and obviously using the same arguments. Okay, go away. Speaking of Discord, I've messaged you on there to talk about something a few days ago. Oh, I'm sorry. I have not opened Discord in a while. There's a whole lot of things, messages and emails that I haven't checked, so I'm sorry. So sorry. Rectangle's real name was T. Winship, and he was a follower of Robotham according to the book's description on Amazon. Not surprised. Not surprised. Where are we? Curvating from the summit. That's where we are. We're curvating from the summit at the of 8 inches per mile multiplied by the square of the distance. There we are. Should I email you instead? No. Messaging me on Discord. It's perfectly fine. I just haven't checked anything in a while, and for that I'm sorry. Where is this? I think. All right. I think I'm gonna be ending the stream soon, and then I'll check all my messages and stuff like that. I love this. When you're doing it again, I have a commitment to have to leave, but do so regretfully. Sorry. Good night, everyone. All right. I'll see you later. But I don't yet have a schedule. I will try to do things on Sundays, but not this Sunday. Sundays after that, I will be streaming, and I will later have an update as to what my final schedule is going to be. I just came back from going to the store and eating dinner. All right, well, we'll try to add one more argument so we can have our fill. How about that? So he's going into, I think this is his experiment sections. Sorry, I can't speak. Great deep the waters which surround the land. Oh boy. Many other familiar instances could be given to show the true law of perspective, which is that parallel lines appear in the distance to converge to one and the same datum line, but to reach it at different oh boy. But to reach it at different distances, if themselves dissimilarly distant. This law being remembered, it is easy to understand how the hull of an outward bound ship, although sailing upon a plane surface, disappears before the masthead. No, it does not. It doesn't explain anything. What? Okay. This law being remembered, the law of perspective. So they've been horny about perspective since 1881. All right, I'm checking it. All right, is this what you wanted? Yeah, it's a private video. Nice going, Tasty. This is what Tasty sent me. A privated video. Everybody laugh at Tasty in the chat. Or is it in the server? Sounds like a lack of perspective. Journalism debunked his hero with the interesting experiment. Watch me fail at Beat Saber. Well, if you'd... Alright, okay, so this is just incomprehensible. That's my issue. I can't... Like, if I this is the sort of argument that I want to put in the book, but I don't want to put this quote because he does not explain himself very well. That is that parallel lines appear to, in the distance, to converge to one and the same datum line, but to reach it at different distances if themselves dissimilarly distant. Okay, this law being remembered, it is easy to understand how the hull of an outward bound ship, although sailing upon a plane surface, disappears before the masthead. The optical horizon. Then as A, B, C, and H are nearer to each other than A, B, E, and D, they will converge to... God. Okay, this guy... I see what he's saying, but it doesn't make any goddamn sense. What? Okay, so because the hull of the ship is closer to the optical horizon, it converges with the horizon before the rest of it. Okay. I'm just finna. It's unlisted. All right, there we are. Let's watch Tasty fail at Beat Saber before we go. I guess we can't. Look, I'm trying, dude. This is what you sent me. Can I self-promo, though? It's cool with you? Sure, go ahead. Nobody watches all the way to the end. Except 28 people, apparently. That's the exact opposite of parallel. I want to watch your reaction to me failing. Oh, boy. The point is that it's parallel, like physically parallel, but like when these parallel lines are going away from you, they appear to converge at the vanishing point. Don't forget NASA's watching. Oh, right, yeah, because NASA watches everything I do. So they're going to be watching you fail as well. Or maybe not. Who knows? Here, let's see. What is C? Okay. God, this guy... Yeah, Tasty. This is what you sent me, and it's not doing anything. It still says it's unavailable in private, unless you sent it to me somewhere else. Parallax. Yeah. Don't know what you want me to do. So I guess I'm just gonna have to give a little bit of an explanation after that. But I do have a section for perspective. Yeah, vanishing point accounts for ships receding over the horizon. That's pretty much what this is. Practical, or what do you call it? The optical horizon. The whole vessel being contained within the lines, blah, 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 must gradually diminish as these converge until at H, or the horizon. It enters the vanishing point and disappears, but the masthead. Okay, so that's this. The hull of the vessel. Yeah, I'll have to add a little brackets to explain this, but this is about the best explanation for this point that I'm going to get. So we'll go quotations, blah blah, blah blah. Robotham, 1881, page, we'll say 28 to 29. 28 to 29. And then reminder to add citation. For Earth, not a globe. Just a reminder for later. Tasty Echoes channel shows no content. Yeah. It won't even show me the channel. Yeah, if I just go to your channel, which it's... Okay, never mind. It's not going to do what I want it to. And I can't see the chat history anymore. That's fun. That's neat. All right. So sorry if you guys said anything recently that you wanted me to respond to. Oh, no, no, there you are. There you are. For anyone wondering, look at a tall building. The sides of the buildings would converge even though one is looking up. Right. So let's add this quotation, and then we'll see if Tasty has got the video sorted out. And then we'll that'll be the end of the stream. So this will be, let's see, should be given to show the many other familiar instances could be given to show the true law of perspective, which is that parallel lines appear in the distance to converge to one and the same datum line, but to reach it at different distances. I need to get better at typing. Why? Why? Just add to dictionary. Jeez. Dissimilarly, distance. This law being remembered is easy to understand. Okay. So this law being remembered, it is easy to understand how the hull of an outward bound ship, though, go away, blue line, although sailing upon a plane surface disappears before the mast head. Blah blah blah. Then I'll say okay. It's hard to tell if it went to a proper ellipses there. The hull of the vessel being contained, and then we'll just say close to the horizon, must gradually diminish as these converge until at H, or the horizon, it enters the vanishing point and disappears. But the masthead is still above the horizon at H. At H. Okay, so now we correct all my typos. Contained, vanishing. There we are. We'll control S. That is S, isn't it? Yes. All right. That's fun. All right. He thinks something miles away is the distance of convergence from a horizon, merely because the top is 60 feet or higher up. Ridiculous. Exactly. Flatards making up their own science. Why don't they invent something? They have invented something. They've invented. Let's see. What have they invented? They've invented radiative cooling. You can cool your plates by leaving them out in the moonlight, because the moonlight will cool them. Live minutes. I think they invent new words. That's for sure. Robotham certainly has, or was it the other guy? Eric Dubé certainly hasn't stopped inventing new words. While researching this, do you also look into zetetic astronomy? That is exactly what I was just looking up, or at least a book entitled Zetetic Astronomy, Earth Not a Globe, which is where this is from. But yes, I am going to look into it. I'm not sure if I'm going to look into Zeteticism itself, at least not very in depth. But since it does seem relevant, I am going to have like a section here about Zeteticism somewhere. That did save, didn't it? Let's save it again, just for good measure. All right, and then we close. And we go to the backgrounds, which is actually, this is the surface of Pluto. Yeah, I have the surface of Pluto as my background, and it spans both monitors. It's beautiful. I'm that much of a NASA shill. New kind of light with new laws. Yes. They've invented negative light. What has real science done lately? Flat earthers have discovered negative light. Anyhow, guys, where am I? Here I am. Now you get to see all the garbage going on behind me. Actually, before I go, because I am going to go, this is the end of the stream. Nice seeing you guys. Where is my cursor? There it is. I should fulfill my promises I made on Patreon. And I will tell you all the guys who have supported me this month. This link might help. Yes, I actually have been there not too long ago. Negative light is actually real with antimatter, but technically not. You all your sciencey stuff. All right, so before we end the stream, I have to give credit where credit is due to the people who've paid me more than $6 each and decided that they want to be credited. Now that is What Jesus, that is Victor Medina, that is Steve VanSlyck, Maarten Sprujit, Kimo, Tamanaha, Jeremy the Wicked, William Kincaid, Steve de Bock, MadMarc, Maarten Sprujit, Niji, Paul Smolen, Eric Moyer, and GP Studio Prolapse. Thank all of you guys. They're probably not watching right now, but those are the guys who are worthy of giving credit for being my patron supporters so loyally. Thanks to those guys. Thanks to you guys who are watching and chatting. JCSO's link didn't work. Yeah, it still didn't. I'll. Okay. All right. We have a new link. Open link, new tab. See if his link is working now. Why is it going here? Yeah, it's still privated, Tasty. You're gonna have to unprivate it. Also, can't find wallet. I mean, it's fine. Do you need your wallet? Do you need me to help you find your wallet? Did you check in the couch cushions? No, but instead, I tell you what, we'll do it next stream if you can get it figured out next stream and come in time for the stream. But sorry, right now I'm gonna have to end the stream. So, like I was saying, thank all you guys for watching, and goodbye. If I can find YouTube's new end the stream button. I swear, it's all worked better without YouTube's new redesign, but fine. All right. See all you guys later. Thanks for watching.